Good afternoon, my name is Paige Hungate and I currently serve as the student body president here at Wichita State University. Welcome to the November edition of Engage with Paige. This month and then in the future months we'll be doing pre-recorded videos with questions submitted before like noon on Wednesdays, and then the Director of Public Relations, Bailey Miner, she will read them to me and I have not seen the questions. So that is due to ADA compliance and we're just trying to be compliant with all the rules there. So with that, I guess we can get started. So I'm going to be looking over here at Bailey, so if I'm not looking at the camera, that's why.
Okay, so the first question we had submitted was about former DPR Lennon Berry and his opinion letter to the Sunflower. He made a claim that your parents were involved in writing a press release from SGA. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. So my parents were not involved with the writing of any press release. So I'm not really sure why he wrote that in the article, but it is what it is. But I would say that I know that there are concerns that I've let my family get involved and overshadow what my responsibility is as student body president, and I would say that that's never been the case and it never will be the case.
Question number 2. Prior to the recent speaker, how many events have you attended that have been hosted by ODI?
I've actually attended several over the course of my 4 years here at Wichita State. To mention a couple, I don't know, I've been to so many of them. I don't know if Interfest is an event through ODI, but I've been to that. I've been to different speakers, but they were like last year, and I went to like Stomp the Yard, that kind of thing.
So another question is about, so you wore a Trump t-shirt on campus. Any reason behind that?
Yeah, so during high school, I actually had to do like a psychology project where we actually dressed up like we were polygamists, and then we walked through the mall and just to see what like the perceptions would be of people. And so for one of my political classes, it was like an assignment for us to go out and see how people would receive us in different ways, since it was such a different climate last year during the election. So that was what I decided to do, was wear a Trump t-shirt and then see how I would get received. And yeah, that was really the reasoning behind it.
Okay, our next question is about the list of demands. What has not been completed?
The only thing that hasn't been completed is the Senate positions bill, which is something that we're working on right now. And yeah, the rest of it is, I wouldn't say like completed, but a lot of them are just ongoing things that will have to be going on with next year's president and with future presidents as well. So they're not like completed, they never will be completed, but they're ongoing initiatives.
Awesome. So, how many resolutions or bills did you author your last 2 years prior to becoming student body president?
Did I author? I think 2. I'm not 100% sure. I think 2.
Okay.
I don't know, is that a good answer? Like, that's all I really had to say.
That's fine. How was your trip to North Carolina funded?
It was funded through the offices, I think it was through the president's office actually for that trip.
Okay.
The trip to Tacoma and UNLV was funded through the Office of Student Affairs.
Okay. So it says the university is attempting to require students to submit 3 days notice on events such as protests and rallies. Do you agree with this?
So that's actually always been the policy. The only thing that they changed in that policy was the word shall to may. And so it used to be that they were required to submit within 3 days of the protest, but now they may submit within 3 days. It's definitely encouraged, but it's always been the policy, so it's not really any big change.
Okay, so I think it was a couple months ago, the Fidel banner with the house tours. Would you say that is an example of campus culture that promotes sexual assault?
So I would say timing and context were the biggest parts of all of that. It was just during formal recruitment, and I think that, the timing and context of it was poor, and I think the members of the particular fraternity who did that, they realized that it shouldn't have been done, so.
Okay, and our last question is about the Inspire proposal during the 58th session. Why did you vote against that?
So it only mentioned 2 races in it, and I thought that it should be more inclusive to all different races. It didn't mention like Asian American students, Native American students, anything like that, and I thought that it should just be more inclusive and not just mention 2 groups, but all groups, so we can go target them to come to Wichita State.
Okay, there's actually one last question that
Okay.
I missed. It was kind of long, so for some reason I thought it was a paragraph or something.
Okay.
So, as per Senator Rao's speech, is it true that yourself and Breck decided to not include Braden Hosman on your ticket because of his highly conservative views?
Is that the end?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that I know that Senator Rao talked about the conversation she had with Vice President Towner, but I talked to Braden about it actually in the spring, just about who was going to run on the ticket and everything like that. And it wasn't that he was like too conservative. That wasn't it at all. We were just trying to get multiple different voices on the ticket. So I don't think that it was ever because he was too conservative.
Okay.
But.
Well, that pretty much wraps it up.
Okay.
And the next Engage with Paige is
in 4 weeks. So it's always the first Thursday of every month. Yeah.
I think it's December 7th.
Yeah. So sorry for such a short Engage with Paige, but I definitely encourage you to submit your questions for the form is actually on our website, wichita.edu/SGA, and that form is always open. So I encourage you to submit your questions, and then I'll see you here again on December 7th. Thanks so much. Bye. Good.